Hello and welcome to Geeky Guys. If you're into geeky things, we're the guys for you.
Hi there guys, how's it going today? Just a quick video to discuss something a bit interesting that's going on. In case you didn't know, been doing a bit of work around the house and whatnot with, uh, with some of the restrictions of the COVID restrictions and whatnot. And I'm just going to show you something here, which is, as if I don't lose them, all of these nice looking cherry tomatoes. And you might be thinking, Adam, where did they come from? What store did you get those from? Did you get them from the farmer's market, or where did you get them? And well, the question is, the answer to that question is, I didn't get them from the farmer's market, and I didn't get them from the supermarket. In fact, those tomatoes from here, our very own lot of tomatoes. These ones are much bigger than the ones we saw up there, but there are some nice ones here. Certainly, a lot of them are still very green, and that, but they will ripen. And if I take it in a bit closer over here, I can show you. There's one there that I can see that is slightly red. It's not quite there yet, but there are quite a few over here that are still green. But these are our very own tomato plants that we've started growing in the last couple of months and whatnot. But they really have only just sort of sprouted in the last couple of months. And that's just due to the weather and whatnot, and due to the fact that, well, we sort of just, sort of threw them into the garden from some scraps that we had lying around and whatnot. So, these tomatoes are self-seeded, really, and that's a good thing. We've basically, in a sense, yes, we've had to water them, and we've had to put these stakes in and whatnot to sort of trestle them up, and they're not professionally done or anything like this. This is as I say, a home job and whatnot. But again, these are just our tomatoes that we've got, and that we're growing, and that we're getting a few tomatoes like you saw just a moment ago out of. And it's a really great little thing to be doing. I actually don't want to be standing right there. I don't want to be standing right in the sun for these tomatoes, so that they get more sun. And but yeah, guys, I was sort of going to have a bit of a discussion about, um, sort of geeky things for the most part on the channel, but I just wanted to discuss this for a little bit. And this is a good thing, I think. I think, us geeks and whatnot, we're, often, put into that box of saying, oh, well, you're just geeks and whatnot. You wouldn't know anything else about, other things like sport and whatnot and things like this. But, um, or gardening, or, animals or whatnot, these other sorts of things, which I think is very derogatory, but whatever. Anyway, so it just goes to show you, I think, we can do other things. We have the capabilities to do these sorts of things. And I was just out here fossicking around earlier and happened to see a few of those tomatoes ready. And I thought, oh, those look lovely. And I'll pick them. And then I thought, oh, you know what? I'll put a video out about it and just have a little bit of a discussion about, you know, um, growing vegetables. We're not uber green thumbs. I guess you could, if we're putting a new term at, we're green-thumbed geeks, I guess, to a degree. But we're not uber green thumbs, as I sort of say. But like we've got these plants to be growing, and there's not that much that you really need to do to them. You just need to water them and take care of them as much as you can. As I said, it doesn't look the best in some ways because there's a bit of everything everywhere, and there's a vine down there on the ground and whatnot, and there's a bit of mess around here and whatnot. But even this, look, here's a little plant that's slowly growing, and that's I believe that's another tomato plant, but it's shooting very late, so I don't think it's going to come of much. But anyway, it doesn't matter. You know, um, Whatever comes out of this is whatever comes out of this. As I sort of said, we just sort of threw a bunch of scrap tomato, seeds and whatnot that we had into the garden, and all this is sprouted. So if we'll get some more tomatoes out of it, that's fine and dandy with us. We won't complain, and I think this is a thing that a lot of people are wanting to do. A lot of people are wanting to get their own home garden going, and in fact, I'm going to take you inside because it's quite warm out here, even in the early parts of the morning when this is being filmed, but what have you, so I can show you. So what I wanted to show you guys when we got back inside is this, and these are all seeds, packets of seeds that I've bought. There's some peas and beans, whatnot. There's some onion. There's silver beet. Also pumpkin, lettuce, spring onion. What else we got here? Some cucumber. What else we got here? Beetroot and carrots. Yeah, and some nice capsicum. I thought we actually had some tomato here, but of course with the tomatoes already going, at least a little bit, we really don't need a set of seeds for tomatoes. And even if we sort of do need more tomatoes, we've got a bunch of tomatoes there that we can when we've eaten them, if we've got a few leftovers and whatnot, yet again we can just toss them into the garden. And again, some of those tomatoes that I sort of showed you, they might fall off, they might get eaten by the birds, they might get eaten by some of the insects that we've got floating around and whatnot. And some of those seeds might fall into the little bit of a garden there that we've got. Now, as I said, we're going to work on that garden, sort of, and we're eventually going to get a little bit better at doing what we're doing in terms of gardening, but we're eventually going to put all of these, hopefully at least somewhere in our garden, so that we can have some of our own produce and whatnot. We don't have to rely on going to the supermarkets all the time. We don't have to buy, the overpriced food and whatnot that they put, a lot more money on their produce than what, the farmers do. And I'd prefer to go directly to the farmers or whatnot. But again, I would rather get my own as well than that, because then that there's no pesticides, there's no herbicides really, and things like that. What's sort of you're gonna get. We don't use any pesticides or herbicides, obviously, because we're just a home operation, and we don't really, even so, I sort of think, oh well, it's maybe one or two leaves are getting bitten by some of the moths and whatnot, or the caterpillars or whatnot. Doesn't matter, just rip those off, and toss them into the garden bed, and they'll rot, and they'll provide food for the rest of the tomatoes. So I know that they can still get into them and whatnot, but after a while, all you want is the actual tomatoes themselves, and as long as you pick the ones or you find the ones that are, or whatever it is, lettuce, celery, beetroot, whatever, the ones that you actually want to eat that are fine, clean them up, you wash them up, you cut them up, you cook them up, whatever, you have them nice and fresh in a salad or whatnot, so this is just our plan of doing some more sort of green thumbery sort of stuff, even though we're not that proficient in green thumbery. So, but anyway, guys, hope you have enjoyed our little look at what we're doing in terms of our veggie garden and our gardening exploits and whatnot. And if you want to see a little bit more eventually and want to know a little bit more, write down there in the comments below.
Please remember that the success of channels like this is based on viewers like you, so please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing if you would like to support this content. You can also get social with us on our Discord and on our Facebook. If you would like to further support the channel, you can go onto our Patreon. All links are in the description. Thank you for your support. It really means a lot. I hope you have enjoyed this video here today. And if you have, I hope you will come back for another one. See you then.